Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Top 10 edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by our Patreon supporters and Manapool. Manapool.com is a fast-growing marketplace for Magic the Gathering that makes buying and selling cards easy. Their optimizer helps you get the best value when buying cards, and the team is focused on making it a great experience, whether you're looking to buy a whole commander deck or selling off some extra cards. I'm Evan Irwin, and we get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, Power Dragon.
What's up, everybody? I guess I'm supposed to give you like a happy early Juneteenth because I guess that's Friday.
Oh, okay. All right. Ruben Bressler.
Yeah, there you go. Lots of holidays to celebrate. It's the summer. It's summer break. It's Pride. It's Juneteenth. Lots of good things to be happy about.
There you go. All right. So that said, we begin with our choice of the top comment from our last top 10 in a segment we call Honorable Mention, where Ruben will tell us who was the most eloquent, letting us know what card we did not choose as one of our top 10 Secrets of Strixhaven cards. Ruben?
Well, this week, we'll talk about 5K Magic's comment, which I thought was wonderful, which is the one card which has me enamored is the substitute teacher whom no one wants to see walk into their classroom, Ral Zarek, guest lecturer. His +1 ability is his insidious plotting and scheming. His -1 picks your brain in front of the class. His -2 is the dreaded bully back into the classroom, and his ultimate -7 is Ral's purely evil way of deciding how many days detention that you'll be getting this week. Dark Ritual into Ral is a turn 1 teacher. I just love it, and I'm so glad he's joining the dark side.
Yeah, Ral Zarek, guest lecturer, is a mythic from Secrets of Strixhaven for 2 black and a generic mana. It is a 3 loyalty planeswalker with 4 abilities, +1, Surveil 2, -1, any number of target players each discard a card, -2, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and -7, flip 5 coins. Target opponent skips their next X turns, where X is the number of coins that came up heads. 4 abilities on a 3 mana walker is always hot fire. I mean, it's just fantastic.
Yeah. And the card's randomly useful in a few different like quirky decks, which is kind of nice. I don't think it had like the immediate impact people thought, but it's always a card that's going to be a fun piece to have available for different things.
Yeah, it's one of those cards that's not like I don't want a card like this to kind of like take over the meta anyway, you know? Like,
exactly.
I think at some point, and I sort of very clearly remember reading this at one point in time where they're like, planeswalkers, we need to be very specific, like in what they do. You know what I mean? Like the wedge they fill should not be so wide that it goes in every black deck or whatever. It should be, no, if you're maybe playing Reanimator or something, this is awesome in that, you know? But yeah, either way, thank you so much for being a part of the show. 5K Magic. Ral Zarek is cool and did show, I believe, the first part of Jace's weirdness happening in Secrets of Strixhaven.
It's true.
Coming soon with their wild new set. It's going to be exciting. So that said, stay tuned for our top 10 list this week and let us know what choice of your honorable mention may be. So we're going to move on here to our first number 10. Ruben, what is your number 10?
So I have to say, before we get started, my top 10, because this is the top 10 cards of the year so far.
That's right.
I included Marvel superheroes in my list.
Okay.
Oh, see, I did the opposite. I left them out because they weren't officially printed yet.
So right. Same. Now, I had seen them, so I included them in my list. I will say that
that's fair.
They're not super populated in my list, but they're in here, and I figure it's worth giving them a little bit of a note. I was surprised to find that among my hires, my number 10 was higher. I was not expecting my number 10 to be on anybody else's list, but indeed it is.
Yeah, I'm curious. We could probably go over the philosophies kind of our list. For me, I didn't want to choose based on like artwork, for example. I want to choose basically on sort of designs I thought were cool and interesting. So no reprints, no weird artworks or whatever, just unique designs from the year to this point.
Yeah, see, mine was a bit different because I chose based on different formats, kind of cards that created new spaces for different decks, and also some that were just socially important on a couple of these, which are very neat. So
for sure. I did include a couple of reprint arts, specifically having to do with like Secret Lair promos.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I have a wide swath across all of the sets.
And you were saying your number 10 is higher on somebody else's?
My number 10 is indeed higher.
Okay. So is mine, which I'm a little surprised by, but not too terribly. Power Dragon, what's number 10?
That amuses me because I didn't think we were going to have that many similar cards on these lists.
Know, same.
I know, right?
I share a couple higher on my list as well with people, but not this one. This one is Chronicles of Victory. It's a 6 mana artifact legend that When it enters, you choose a creature type, and then creatures of the chosen type get +2/+2, and
Mhm.
first strike and trample. And whenever you cast a spell, the chosen type, you draw a card. Like, this made my list because it's going to be a card that's always going to be valuable. Any type of theme deck in Commander or kitchen tables, like, this is the exact type of card you want, right? All my creatures are bigger. They all get first strike and trample, and I get more cards for just doing the thing I'm already wanting to do. Like, there's as soon as I saw this card, I was like, yeah, the lowest you can get these, just buy them now because they're always going to be worth something in the future.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, Mythic Typal is just like just money. It's always
Yeah.
just money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely the kitchen table-iest kitchen table card
Yeah.
that has ever kitchen tabled for sure. If you're looking for something to juice up your not every tribal deck, but particularly the tribal decks that are like looking for playables, like if you've got a Kithkin tribal deck that you really need to juice up, this card is going to be
Here's-
a big piece of it.
I'll tell you what was really funny for me is looking at this card is like previously the version we had of this that was 5 mana, and your creatures got, I think, +1/+1, and you got
Yeah.
to draw a card whenever you played a creature of that type.
Yeah.
This is like you get bigger creatures, 2 extra abilities for
Yeah.
1 more mana. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, dog, let's do it. You know?
You know,
Yeah,
I'm
for
really
sure.
curious. This seems to be a big debate now in the Commander community is that there's almost too many cards that do too many similar things.
I've seen this discussion.
You know what I'm saying? Like each
Yeah.
deck is getting so refined because there's so many things on each mana, level as we go up here that
Sure.
okay, this is for the typal stuff, this is for the typal stuff, and like then travel goes explosion. So like, I don't know, but this is another one of those like look at the upgrade, right? Why not run both, right? So
Yeah. But also, you don't ever want to. There's a lot of times you don't want to play every single card that does that thing, or else you're just drawing those things and no actual cards that do anything. You know, so I've run into that in the +1/+1 counters deck already. So like, there's already a lot of things you cut because you're like, yeah, I don't need all of these things that double my counters or whatever.
right. So then
But
it's
yeah.
about what's the most efficient way of doing that
Exactly.
thing that
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing, and this is arguably more efficient than the last version of it. And so that's kind of where we're at, seeing these sort of slow improvements over the same theme over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you can find a deal on this card, just scoop them up, trade for them, and then just have them for the future because this card's crazy.
Oh, heck yeah. All right, let's move on here to number 9. We don't have any more number 10s, which is fine. This is the weirdest thing. I was not expecting to share my number 9 on this list.
That's
We're
with
doing-
me, buddy.
Oh, wow. Well, let's go
Wow.
ahead and let Ruben talk about his number 9, then we'll talk about our number 9.
Sure. Well, there's a number of secret layers that actually people are really looking forward to, and one of them is this Secret Layers Cats rollout that
Right.
had a huge footprint at MagicCon Vegas, and people are very excited for all the Garfield cards that are coming out and all the weird like Felix cards. But I think that the most chatter I saw was for the Sims Art comics style art that has the ghost cats on it, and specifically the big giant Sheltered by Ghosts that was available for viewing at MagicCon Vegas. So my number 9 is Sheltered by Ghosts, which is by Sims Art, who again, extremely popular comics illustrator, hundreds of thousands of followers across all platforms, and probably best known for a comic series called Ghost Cats and Tea. And they gave this artist a bunch of art to be able to put into their secret lair. You've got Witch Enchanter, Spirit of the Hearth, Boseiju, Wayfarer's Bauble, and The Sheltered by Ghosts, which is an adorable young witch sitting on a front stoop with a bunch of ghost cats around. And it looked excellent up close, and it's very cute, and I love the style, and I think that people are going to love it, and they already do.
Yeah, knowing that the person is known for ghost cats, that makes way more sense now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, okay, that's cute. I guess there's cat spirits, and they ward off the evil, but it's like, oh, there's actually a real story behind it. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I dig it. This is really just gorgeous. I mean, I get it. This is, if I was here picking out the pretty stuff, man, I would probably have had a tougher time, honestly. I
Yeah.
put my guardrails up so I wouldn't have to be like, man, this is really incredible, but this other thing. Plus, I love Garfield, which is really cool too. Like,
Yeah.
it was a whole thing, but this is certainly fantastic. All right, so moving on here to our number 9, which I was just going through. This card made it on my list because I was going through all the cards, and I ran into this one, and I was like, that card's fun. I love this card. It's been super good to me, not only in the sort of its power level, but in how it plays, the way I play cards, thanks to it. It's really neat. And overall, I've been really glad that it's been a big part of the metagame. Even though, do we need another blue or red card that's good? Probably not, but that's okay. So, Power and Dragon, tell them what Tablet of Discovery does and why you like it for your number 9.
Yeah, it's 2 and a red for an artifact that when it enters, you mill a card and you can play it until end of turn. It taps for a red or it taps for 2 red if you cast instants or sorceries. Yeah, this card, I think the first reason I made my list is because it went under the radar, right?
really
Like when the
did.
set came out, hardly anybody was talking about this card.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's actually still such a good card and you can still get these for under $1 pretty much everywhere, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's one of the key pieces of the current Jeskai or even 4-color control decks. Just getting access to a bonus card, really technically only costing you 1 mana in those decks a lot of the time because you can just get immediately 2 mana back to cast something else. Like it's just an all-around quality card for those decks. And honestly, it's so good that it's booted out the card that we were talking about in the loot that doubled all your lands, right? Basically. Like they don't even play that. They just play Tablet Discovery now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy.
Like Tablet Discovery showing Burst Lightning, and you play the Burst Lightning right off of it, right? Awesome.
Yeah.
And the next turn, you just went from 3 to 6 mana basically for instants and sorceries, which is also huge. So 3 and a 6 basically for your big spell deck is exactly where you want to be. Multiples of these things are awesome, and they do not hurt you at all. And they get scarier because they each making 2 mana for your instants and sorceries. So yeah, it scales great. It plays great. I love the heck out of this thing.
The big payoff is 1 to 2 turns early on your Jeskai Revelations.
Right.
Yep.
That's really what it's about.
For sure. So on turn 4, you can, start to get wacky and wild with all these things, and it's great. So yeah, that card is awesome and was our number 9 for reasons, but let's go ahead and bump into the world of number 8, because even though Tablet Discovery's kind of replaced it in some ways, I have Resonating Loot on my number 8 because I think it's rad. Resonating Loot is a super cool card from Secrets of Strixhaven for a red, blue, and 2 generic mana. It's a rare artifact that says lands you control have tap, add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to cast instant and sorcery spells. And it also has tap, draw a card, activate only if you have 7 or more cards in your hand. The second ability is cute. It's whatever. It's fine. You're playing this for the first one. You're playing this because when you untap, all hell's about to break loose. And I recognize that Tablet Discovery is kind of doing a lot of that job, and that's cool and all. But there is something really satisfying about untapping with a Resonating Loot that's kind of hard to put into words to people who don't play Magic. You know what I mean? It's like just a warm hug of kicking butt.
Oh, I think there's a lot of decks that'll still want this card, especially if you're doing any type of ramp stuff that's trying to go big with, maybe a teamer pile where you're trying to play Doppelgang for X equals 7 or something. There's some crazy stuff you can do with this card. I mean, so I think this is another card that Commander players will still play forever, even after it's not standard legal, just because doubling your mana is huge. I mean, there's no other way about it. I mean, like double everything. And not just that, but doing it in 2 colors that don't normally get that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting that we have both of these on the list, and I think that they belong in different places. You're just talking about how Commander might be getting a little bit homogenous, and in Commander, maybe you'd play both of these in the same deck and say that they're doing a similar thing. But the lists that have the tablet are different than the lists that have Resonating Loot.
It's true.
The ones with the loot are slightly bigger. They're slightly, clunkier, more colors, more mana sinks than the ones that have the tablet. So I think that there's a place for both, and both of them are very cool cards.
Yeah, loot decks are generally trying to kill you with like Math and Magics or something. Right? Whereas the tablet decks are trying to play just the mid spell steady game and maybe kill you with the Jeskai Revelation. Yeah.
Right.
Very nice. All right. So Ruben, what's number 8?
My number 8, again, these are my 2 cards that are art. I had them lower on my list because I wanted to cover them earlier. I think it's noteworthy, especially during this month, that we got a Gilded Lotus that has the Gruul Friends on it. So the Magic Presents Pride Gilded Lotus by Merlin GG is my number 8.
Nice.
A lovely piece of art here and a lovely promo without flavor text. to commemorate Magic Pride. And also, if you play in store in certain locations, there's a enamel pin that features the Gilded Lotus that you see as part of the in-store promotion. So lots of countries around the world can get you that promotion. I believe that promotion might have ended earlier in the month, but it was possible to get those pins, and it's possible to get these Gilded Lotuses.
That is gorgeous.
It's a cool piece of art. I
Yeah.
think it's a tough thing for people who kind of want this relationship to be the thing, when they see it, because I get it. I've been inside the walls at WotC. There's certain places where that could get people in trouble, so they're having to be real careful with it till they decide to make it officially a thing, I guess. But in the meantime, hey, it's a sweet piece of art on a really cool card that people still like
Look,
playing.
They're just really good friends. They're roommates. They just like
Gruel
doing stuff
friends.
together.
Yep.
The bestest. The very bestest. All right. Power Dragon. What's number 8?
Well, mine also is a Gruul card in a different way here, but Raph and Mikey Troublemakers. So we got the Ninja Turtles on the list. But 5 and 2 Gruul mana, so 7 mana for a 7/7 Trample Haste Mutant Ninja Turtle. Whenever they attack, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature. Put that creature on the battlefield tapped and attacking, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Like, this card is kind of becoming the de facto thing to go get or put into play for free, or if I need a big body, right? And it's going to be standard legal for another 2.5 years. So it's like, it's going to be around for a minute. And anytime you're looking at like, okay, I want to play the big creatures, I want to trick something in play, I want to get other big bodies for free, or combo pieces that make multiple tokens or whatever it is, this is probably going to be one of the cards that people continually look for. And it's actually fairly affordable at like $2 or $3. And it's just like a fun, exciting card to play with every time it hits the battlefield. Because every once in a while, you'll just be like, just hit my Badger Mole Cub, right? Other times you're like, look, I got a big 9/9 Krang, like, or whatever, right? It's a wild card, but a lot of fun to play with.
This was my number 10.
Whoa.
I was
okay,
surprised
cool.
someone else had it on their list.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, all right, it's seeing a little bit of seeing some waves in like vintage. It's like a good oath target in vintage.
Right.
It's like a good third creature so that you don't deck yourself all the time. It's also making a little bit of waves in CEDH. It's like kind of like an Atali, but not really. It's just an Atali for you.
Yeah.
But like with like Blightsteel Colossus in your deck, I guess. It's a different vibe of Commander, and it's a different vibe of big drop. And together, I guess that's just good enough, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, it makes for different gameplay, which I'm always in favor of.
I personally, my interactions with this lovely creature here has often been, it's on the other side of the table of the brawl. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
They ramp. They play Raph and Mikey. If I kill Raph and Mikey, they concede. If I don't kill Raph and Mikey, they turn over something absolutely stupid, and then I lose 2 turns later. So like, I just
the whole deck is nothing but shared roots and Ulamogs.
Yep.
Like
that's it.
There's 5 Ulamogs and then 1 million cultivates. Yeah, it's whatever.
That's whatever. Crazy, but hilarious.
If that's what you want to be doing with your life, go off.
Yeah. And I see it so often, and I'm like, man, I killed your Raph. It doesn't mean you're dead. It means I slowed you down once.
Yeah, you're a ramp deck. Just do it again next turn.
I know, right? But a lot of them just scoop it right up, and I'm like, okay, whatever, man. If that's the gameplay you wanted. So that's been like, I think the card's super cool, rad. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think this is cool. But like, man, it's so weird to me that people want that gameplay experience of, okay, you stop me from doing the thing where I went automatically and then we're done. Right. I'm like, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Why
those are people I put in the category if you're not really looking to play Magic.
Yeah.
Right. You're looking to do a thing and play a little math game with yourself.
And if you know what your joy is, go off. It's arena.
For sure.
We can all queue up again.
Yeah,
if that's how you get your serotonin, more power to you.
As long as I don't see it like 3 or 4 times in a row, that's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
There for a minute, it was very popular. All right, cool. Let's see. Let's move on here to number 7. Ruben, what's number 7?
So this is the last of the 2 hires I have on my list. This one I'm not surprised is higher.
Okay, fair enough. Power Dragon, what's number 7?
My number 7 is, I think, the only one that made my list because of artwork. And it also is from the Cats Commander or Secret Lair piles.
Okay.
But it's the one, who's the artist on this one? Samuel Plain, I think. But it's Aggravated Assault. It's got the cats looking at the glowing fish, which anybody who has cats, I was like, this is the most appropriate way to describe this. It is definitely an aggravated with your little red dot moving it around and getting your cat. I'm like, it's perfect.
Oh my God.
If you want to encompass the term aggravated assault, there you go. It is so good.
I do like all of the different, like inside you, there are 5 wolves and they all have slightly different reactions. In particular, I don't know if the card is up on the screen right now, but the cat on the, like just not to the far left, but to the near left.
Yeah. Being a little bit afraid of it.
It's a little bit afraid of it is my favorite. I don't know why, like doing this with its neck.
Yep.
It's very funny.
That cracks me up. Yeah, this card is just super cool. Man, this card is worth so much. $30, like 26 minimum, kind of.
Yeah, wow, Aggravated Assault's always popular.
It's been a minute. I remember back before like Explorers of Ixalan or whatever, back when it just came back as an invocation, and that was it for a long time. Like it was crazy. They just wouldn't reprint this thing. So
and it's wild because this thing has had like, I don't know, 15 reprints or something, and it's still worth a ton.
It's had quite a few. So yeah, Aggravated Assault is a fantastic Magic card. This illustration is terrific. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So
it's very cute.
Great. You get to show cats. I love it. All right. Well, that was super cool. For my number 7 here, this is like the number 1 Commander card so far this year, and it's not really close. And I can certainly see why. I can certainly understand why someone would have this creature in their deck, because it makes certain things happen and it makes people be punished for trying to do other things and whatnot, which is great. Because the number 1 there and the number 7 on my list so far is Hexing Squelcher. Yeah. Hexing Squelcher is a rare card from Secrets of Strixhaven from Lorwyn Eclipsed for a red and a generic mana. So it's a 2-mana 2/2 Goblin Sorcerer. This spell can't be countered. It has Ward of Pay 2 life. Spells you control can't be countered, and other creatures you control have Ward Pay 2 life. So the person who's always bringing the blue decks never wants to see this creature, and then you immediately put this in anything you have the red, commander color identity in, so you can play it and make them suffer.
Yeah, this card was so interesting because when it came out, everybody's like, "Oh, this is going to be the thing. It's going to go in all the red decks," and then we kind of didn't really see it, but below the surface, older formats, CEDH, whatever, like this was finding its home in a lot of places while people really weren't talking, and it crept its way back up to $20 real fast. Yeah. So this card's, it's another one, I think for a long time, it's going to be hard to get something better than this, right? Because we've had even other goblins that you could pay something to make something uncounterable or whatever. This one just has it built in, and it's hard to deal with, and it punishes your opponent for dealing with it. Hard to beat.
There's a really funny thing about this card in CEDH, and that's primarily where Hexing Squelcher has found a home, is either in sideboards or in CEDH. But what's really interesting is that it's because it is a symmetrical effect. It doesn't say your spells can't be countered. It says spells can't be countered. And so you very often don't see it in blue decks. You very often will not, if your deck has red and blue in it, they don't want this card. You only see this in Etali. You only see this in decks that are trying to do the thing and don't care if you're trying to don't really particularly care if you're trying to stop them. Najeela, aggressive CEDH decks. Because if you play this, your opponent's going to go, "Oh, none of my spells can be countered. Thanks so much. Time to win on the stack." And then they're going to go off underneath all of your plans. So it's a very good card, very powerful, but very tricky to play with in a 4-player commander.
And the all art version slaps, just absolutely slaps. I've got it on screen right now. It's absolutely gorgeous. So love it, love it, love it. All right, move on here to number 6, the only higher on my list. So that's a thing, but it's a great card, so I'll take it. Ruben, what's number 6?
My number 6 is a card that we will almost certainly have on our lists next week when we talk about the Marvel sets, or we might not, because it's, I don't know how good it's going to be as compared to the rest of the cards that are in standard, but
Hmm.
the Mind Stone is my number 6. The Mind Stone
Yes.
is a legendary artifact Infinity Stone that costs a generic and a white and is indestructible and taps for a white. It also has Harness the Mind Stone, which costs you 5 generic, a white, and tapping it. And then once you do that, it gains the ability at the beginning of your end step, exile up to one other target non-land permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. That's effectively a teleportation circle or a Thassa deep dwelling, a blink every turn in your white deck. It's also just a white mana rock. White and black are the two colors that really needed mana rocks the most, in my opinion. And so now we have it.
Yeah, I think this card's slightly better than the black one in the
Mhm.
sense that it's going to be easier to build with this. Because the black one, you kind of need stuff in your graveyard to be able to use the big part of the ability. Otherwise, just like a fancy mana rock. This one, it's like, oh, you can play this in enough decks that are going to have some type of ETB things that you can just reuse over and over, which is really nice. Even if you want to do mid-rangey control piles, and maybe you just want to blink a Biza every other turn or every third turn or something, gain some life, chump block with the fish or whatever, right? Like there's some things you could do with this that I think would be very cool.
If
Yeah.
you open the version I have on screen right now, the extended version that has the Mind Stone on it, don't take that anywhere. Just hold on to it and
Yeah.
wait. Because
Have
like
someone come to your house.
the last one, the what was the other stone that they released so
Soul
far?
Stone.
The Soul
Soul
Stone,
Stone,
yeah.
yeah.
The version like this is like $4,000 or something crazy.
More.
Yeah.
Oh my
More than
god,
that.
just
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
In Vegas, at least one of the vendors was buying the limited edition, the most expensive, the rarest Soulstone for more than 20,000.
Yeah, I think it was Tales of Adventure, actually.
Tales of Adventure was buying it for
Jesus
22,000, I believe.
Wow, all right. That's incredible.
And speaking of the Soul Stone and the Mind Stone, I do think the Mind Stone is better for a couple other reasons. One is that the Soul Stone costs 7 and exiling a creature you control to activate, while this one only costs 6. Also, the Soul Stone triggers at the beginning of your upkeep, as opposed to at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
So you can get it online faster, and you can get it to trigger on your own turn faster. So I think that there's a number of reasons to like the Soul Stone. Obviously, the extra black pip is better in black than it is in white, but the Mind Stone as a card, I think, is probably going to see more actual play.
Yeah, this card is super rad, totally. Power Dragon, what's number 6?
My number 6 is what's turning out to be the most popular commander to build with on EDH Rec, but Black Loafing Pest. It's 1 black and a green for a 3 mana 3/4 for a pest. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on each pest, bat, insect, snake, and spider you control. This didn't surprise me at all, right? People love life gain decks. It helps a lot of different creature types, particularly bats, insects, and snakes tend to be fairly popular. So it's just like, yeah, you get a key piece for those. You get to pump your whole team, like, and it pumps itself, which is also really good. You know, whether you want to play it as a commander or just play it in your 99. So like, yeah, and it does still show up on the ladder because the bat decks needed a little bit of extra boost, and this helps those out too because splashing for green is pretty easy to do right now.
Yeah, I've had a good time playing the gain life bat decks and stuff. And
Yeah.
Black just kind of shows up and he's cool and he's weird and it's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a good efficient card. 3 mana, 3/4 with a really cool ability. Like, draws attention to itself, but that's kind of a good thing as well while it's pumping the rest of your team. Like, yeah, kill me and let the rest of my pumped up team now
Exactly.
kill you.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, 3 mana 3/4 is huge. And being able to grow your team that fast is pretty exciting as well. I've seen a couple of commander decks. Kibler has this built, I think. It's a scary card on the table by itself, and then as soon as any amount of support is on the table, you're dealing with like 5/5s and 7/7s that used to be 1/1.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't have the once per turn clause.
Right.
It doesn't have the
there's-
once per turn clause and it does include itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And those are the two biggest things I think wouldn't be here 15 years ago, like 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, definitely not.
It would have been, some kind of lord type, creature type or whatever, but not a pest. That would be crazy. You can't just let him get
Yeah.
up himself. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we don't live in that world, which is great. Let's move on here to number 5. My number 5 is a fun one since I didn't have a number 6. But it's the only one of this type that I included, but I do think it's going to be one of the most important and impactful types, if nothing else, because it's incredibly exciting. It's really awesome, and it's really great that you can put incredibly powerful spells on these creatures this way. I think Prepared is the best mechanic to come out since Landfall, probably, in terms of how good it is, I believe. And that would be Emeritus of Woe. Emeritus of Woe is a black and 3 generic mana for a 5/4. First of all, on rate, ridiculous. A mythic 5/4 for 4 mana. And it's a vampire warlock, also very popular creature types. This creature enters prepared. And at the beginning of your end step, if 2 or more creatures die this turn, this creature becomes prepared. So it enters being able to play Demonic Tutor. Black and generic mana sorcery. Search your library for your card, put it in your hand, and shuffle straight up. No joke, Demonic Tutor. Not Demonic Tutor, you gotta pay some life. Not Demonic Tutor at this other weird clause. No, it's just the real deal, and it turns back on so easily because it doesn't say if 2 or more of your creatures die or your opponent's creatures. Oh, no. Any of that stuff happens, and okay, here we are. Back to Demonic Tutoring. Card is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because a number of ways you can sacrifice a thing and your opponents have to sacrifice a thing. And then, ta-da! Yeah,
Trade.
here we go.
Here we are.
Yeah.
We're back,
Yeah, I think, though, just having Demonic Tutor on a stick is just great, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's never going to be bad, right? You can even wait till turn 6 if you want to, just to play it and get off the Demonic Tutor or whatever. Right? There's so many ways you can get it and not have to worry about it. And of all the Emeritus so far, it's the one that's held its value the best, because I would assume almost every black commander deck, if you can afford it, is probably going to want to play this card. I mean,
rate,
like,
it's just so good on rate.
There's so few reasons to not play this card, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Not even double black. Like,
I will also be espousing the virtues of Prepared later on in my list.
okay.
But in particular, I just love that Wizards found a way to put Demonic Tutor in a booster pack. I love that they figured out how to get the joy and exhilaration of opening a booster pack and getting a card that you haven't seen in a booster pack in 25 years. I think that it's brilliant. There's a company that makes like custom perfect fits that can block out the rest of the card if you wanted to proxy a Demonic Tutor for your commander deck or your vintage deck. That's a pretty cool thing that you can do with this. I think it's a genius ability. I think it's one of the smartest, if not the smartest thing, the ability to put old cards or iconic cards or
reserve list
things that they need to reprint cards on a creature and reinventing those cards. Like, we not only do we get a cool creature, but we get to see Demonic Tutor in a new light, thanks to this Emeritus.
Yeah, and we're already seeing like prepared creatures again already, aren't we? Is that right?
In Hexhaven, in Reality Fracture.
In Reality Fracture,
we're gonna get, we at least have one. I don't know how many prepared creatures we're gonna get, but we saw one in the preview panel.
Yeah, I'm sort of viewing Reality Fracture as like, we can't say it's a block because we don't want to start that conversation, but it's the second half of the block.
Right.
It's the other half of the thing that we're doing. Look, man, I love Prepared. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I don't want Prepared to go the way of battles, which is what happened.
Yeah.
Could we have more battles, please?
I would like for battles to come back for sure.
What the hell, man? Battles were so cool. So, like, please don't lose this incredibly awesome. The only problem with this is a little wordy. If it weren't so wordy, that'd solve everything. Beyond that, it's incredible. So, like, I love it. This is great. Fantastic. Fits in every black deck, no problem. Rate's crazy. Let's go. All right, Ruben, what's number 5?
Number 5 is the craziest, weirdest axolotl monster ever printed. He's cute, kind of. He's terrifying, certainly. And it's an excellent card that I've cast a lot, and it is Wistfulness. Wistfulness is one of the elemental incarnation cycle from Lorwyn Eclipsed. 3 generic, and then either green or blue mana, or both, as we shall see. So 5 total mana, gets you a 6/5, with Evoke of that same color combination. When this creature enters, if green was spent to cast it, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls, and if blue was spent to cast it, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. The elemental incarnation cycle is a stroke of genius and I love it so much, and it's perfect execution. These elemental incarnations in Lorwyn are the perfect place to put this. You have ultimate variability and utility on a big creature and a big body that can't be reanimated, but you can cast it on turn 2. Like, you can still, if you have a problematic thing you got to get rid of on turn 2, green, green. If you got to look for some lands or discard a reanimation target, blue, blue. And if you got them all, when you got 5 mana, you can do both things and get a 6/5. And it doesn't suffer the blink problem. It doesn't suffer the reanimator problem. All of them are incredible. Wistfulness, emptiness, vibrance, they're all great. Wistfulness, though, I think is the one that I have had the most success with and the most fun casting. And it's just wonderful.
Yeah, I think the only one, I guess the red, blue, or whatever the other one is. There's one that doesn't get a lot of play, but the others are all pretty flexible, very good. Like, putting 2 abilities for 2 mana on a card is almost like a charm that says, like, you get either of these things, and then occasionally you get a big creature. Nothing to complain about on those at all. Like, overall, Cycle's very good, and I expect these are going to be a set of cards that just get played forever while they're standard legal.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that this really showed how awesome Superior Spider-Man was, like this whole cycle, that when you cast it from your hand, it still cares about the type of mana that you played. Not necessarily, this was more deceit than was Wistfulness, but the point of any card that's going to copy a creature in a graveyard, that it's now going to care about the mana you spent to play that, which I think is really awesome and unique. And yeah, again, just incredibly clever way that they kind of fixed Evoke that you didn't really see coming. Yeah, this whole cycle was really brilliant, and I'm glad they have like a whole deck just of like them. You know what I mean, like the Elementals thing, just doing their thing. I think that's brilliant. Sure. All right, let's move on here to Power Dragons number 5. What you got?
My number 5 is probably the most fun card of the year for me so far, and I don't even think we've seen the best thing we're going to be able to do with it this year. But it's Applied Geometry. 2 green, blue, a sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target non-aura permanent you control, except it's a 0/0 fractal in addition to its other types. And then for some godforsaken reason, put 6 counters on it. Like, I don't, like, whatever, man. Like, it's a 4 mana 6/6 that does something, whatever else you want it to do that's on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Like, this card, like, I have copied an Ouroboros and put a bajillion counters on things and one on the spot.
God.
I have copied a Terra Symbiosis and drawn, I think it was like 12 cards or whatever it was.
Yep, sure.
Right? Like, I've got, just recently, I copied a Felidar Retreat. That was fun.
Wow.
Like, you can do all kinds of stupid stuff with this card, and I don't even think we've seen the best of it yet.
This card is nuts. It just reads weird, but it reads like so much fun. You're like, I get to do what? And then how many counters? It's just like
and this
6 is so many.
Less than 50 cents on almost every website.
Yeah. Not every
like
card
crazy
costs $1 million, to be fun. Yeah, this is sweet. I to hear you talk about this card is the best thing, because you do so many weird things with it. Yeah. I'll copy a creature once in a while, but you're like, no.
Right. Or just make a 6/6 land.
Yeah. Here's a fun one too, by the way. If you copy a doubling season, you get 2 48/48 creatures, in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Just wanted to put that out there. Like, you could do some dumb things.
Oh my God, that's so cool. I love that. I want to do that now.
Very good.
Let's move on here to number 4. Ruben, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is another card from the upcoming Marvel set. Okay. And because it's a number 4, it does have to be from the Fantastic Four. And because it's from the Fantastic Four, it does have to be the Fantasticar. Which is something that we did discuss recently, and we will continue to discuss, and may be seeing some amount of restriction in Vintage someday. But for now, let's just bask in how powerful the Fantasticar is. It's a 3 generic mana legendary artifact vehicle with flying that is a 4/4. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may have the Fantasticar become an artifact creature until the end of the turn. And whenever you cast your 4th non-creature spell each turn, you may sacrifice the Fantasticar. If you do, create 4 4/4 colorless construct artifact creature tokens with flying and haste. So very easy in Workshop decks, Mishra's Workshop decks in Vintage, to go Workshop this, Mox, attack you for 16.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd
that's
say
all.
it's easy, but it's
It's-
definitely possible.
Yeah, it's one of those like from what I was reading, they were saying like if they don't, if they made it cost 4, then they have to move some other numbers around. No, you don't. You are the gaming company that puts the numbers on the cards. You can make it 4 because
Yeah.
it's the Fantastic card for the Fantastic 4. I don't. It's so weird to me. It's like you would, oh yeah, we'd have to make it a 5, or 6, 6. No, you wouldn't.
Why?
No,
You don't have to make
no,
it
no.
suck, but you can make it 4 mana.
A
Because
4
what are
mana
you
4/4.
doing?
If this cost 4 mana, it would still be making waves.
Yeah, people are still going
In
to
Still
play.
be
vintage
talking about it, but we
forms.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
like, oh, this is the most, obviously, blah, blah, blah. No, you've really put in this weird distinction of workshop decks or things. And I know, and from this very design, Wizards does not care about vintage. And I understand why. They don't make them very much money, vintage players. I get it. But man, this was such a weird choice for me of like, how does this not cost 4? I just don't get it.
That was weird. This is
Hey,
like
I'm just glad it's
Gristle
not
Bland.
standard legal. Let me
Right,
tell you.
exactly.
Like,
This is like Brand levels of like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But yeah, if this were legal and standard, you could play this on turn 3 and pass, and then turn 4 just go like opt, burst lightning,
yeah.
1-drop,
Right,
attack you
and
for 16.
Then woohoo. Yeah. It'd be wild, and probably too good. But again,
Probably.
the numbers just are weird on this card. And okay, if that's what we're doing, I guess that's fine. No big deal.
But honestly, I'd have been okay with it being 4 just on flavor.
Same.
Right. Again, that to me is what it was there. Like the
Yeah.
flavor has to be the number one thing for UB sets, right? Like it has to be.
Right. Like
Yeah.
Gristle Brand, I get it has to be 8 instead of 7
Sure.
because
reasons.
7 is too good, I guess.
Yeah.
But here I'm happy making it worse if it's slightly more flavorful.
It's got 4s
Yeah.
all over that art. You're telling
Right.
me. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Power Dragon. What's number 4?
My number 4, this one, I kind of put it on here for a very interesting reason, but it's Bitter Bloom Bear.
My number 6.
And for me, this was the card that I think was the first card we saw in the set when they previewed it.
It's
It was like everybody got amped up, and it was like, oh man, we're gonna do some fun stuff with this set, and got everybody excited to see it. We're prepped for preview season, and it felt like this is how you preview a card, right?
Yep.
Like they picked the exact right card to say, hey, 2026 is going to be full of bangers, y'all.
Tell the listeners what
Right,
it
like-
does.
Yeah. So Bitter Bloom Bear, 2 black mana. So just black for a 1/1 flash flying fairy rogue. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and you create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature token with flying. Now, this does still see Fringe play in a few different lists for various reasons, things that just need extra tokens to sacrifice things or whatever. Occasionally a fairy based thing. But yeah, just overall, this card's still very solid. But I put it on here more because of just the excitement, the harbinger of what was to come, like
Yeah.
just like, hey, this is like, no, we're really putting real effort into these in-universe sets. So be excited because you're going to get some sweet cards. And the
Yeah.
set did live up to the hype for the most part.
Magic is getting very good at knowing which cards to show first. They're getting very good. I'm looking at my
Sure.
list right now. 4 of my top 7, I'm pretty sure were either the first, second, or third cards previewed from their sets. Even though we like this preview season that goes on for a couple of weeks, even though we like giving new creators cool content and stuff, this card is a good example of like, here's the set in 1 card. Here's
Yep.
what you can expect. Boom, big start. Like incredible first, scene in a movie. Coming out with a bang. I think that I totally agree with you. I think that this was a great introduction. And Wizards is only getting better at this. I mean, the new Smaug that's coming out in the Hobbit set was the first thing that we saw from
Yeah.
the Hobbit, really. I mean, it's the head. That's the other thing is that they're picking headliners pretty good.
Right. This was the
and-
headliner of the set, right?
This was the
one
headliner of the set.
Have the numbered versions. or
Correct. Yeah.
Yep.
The
Serialized.
Rebecca Gay Bitter Bloom Bearers.
Right.
Mox Jasper notwithstanding, they've gotten pretty good at that too.
whatever. Right.
Of knowing which cards to give the specialty one-off treatment. So another very cool facet.
I chose this for my number 6 and as one of the best of the year so far because this card to me represents a lot of the future of Magic. Like we have to recognize we're 30 years in. Like we gotta like, and we're here
Mhm.
and there's a lot of designs under the sun. There's only so many, but there's a lot, which is great. And so everything in our lives is a remix. And every Magic card is becoming a remix of older Magic cards. Not there's anything wrong with that. And the more powerful the remix, the better and the more excited we're going to get about it. So the fact that this is a remix of a creature and an awesome Bitter Blossom itself, and this is a remix of the set that came before that, this is getting from its world design.
Mhm.
All of those mixes come together to go, oh, that's powerful. That's really impactful. That's really exciting. And that's what we're going to see, I think, a lot more of, rather than cards and ideas and things that we've never seen before versus saying, oh, this is X plus Y with a little bit of Z here on the end of it to change the flavor up a little bit, and to me, that's kind of what I'm going to get the most out of Magic over the next 15 years versus I can't wait for them to show me some card I can't imagine that ever existed versus saying, oh, they implemented this with this other thing in a really cool way. And that brings back all the good feelings again.
Yeah. There's something to knowing how to take ingredients and reimagine them.
Right.
Everybody, like you said, everybody loves a good remix. Everybody likes a good reimagining. We've had some the Emeritus cycle is another great example of this, where it's Anton Ego eating the ratatouille in the restaurant, and suddenly you're 15 again, and you're playing Bitter Blossom on turn 2, and this gives you that energy just many, many, many years later. And I think that's beautiful.
Oh yeah! All right, let's move on here to my number 4. This is one of the biggest cards of the year, I would argue. I really appreciate the fact that Wizards has kind of they figured out how to do World Champion cards. They finally figured the World Champion doesn't design anything. Quit that. They're not designers. That's not their job. They're really good at Magic. So let them be really good at Magic, let them win the whole thing, and then pick a really good card and put their face on it. So that's what we did with the Formidable Speaker, because this card is super duper rad. For a green and 2 generic mana, it's a 2/4 rare from Lorwyn Eclipse. It's an elf druid. When this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. And for some reason, it has another ability. 1 generic, tap : untap another target permanent. I don't know why it has that second ability. It could just have that first ability and be nice and clean, just me personally. But that ability in and of itself is fantastic. I mean, it's one of the best tutors I've ever seen, let alone on a 3-mana 2/4 body.
Yeah, we've had other versions of discard a creature, go find a creature. We had Fauna Shaman you could activate ever.
Right.
But the fact that you also got it on a 2/4 body, that's another thing, right?
And
You
immediately.
you can tutor, and it's not like you're going shields down for the turn, right? Because when you play a Fauna Shaman, even though it only costs 2, you're never wanting to block with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're just like, all right, come get me. I'm going to use this next turn. Right. This you get to use immediately, and you get a sizable body. So even if it dies, you're not that upset because you already got the card you want for next turn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this was my number 7.
Nice.
Not surprised to see it higher on other folks' list. God, I love a 3-mana 2/4. Man, if I ever get to be a card, please make me a 3-mana 2/4, preferably in green, like a Courser of Kruphix, a Formidable Speaker. Man, a 3-mana 2/4 is right. Man, I love it so much. And this being able to be not only a discard outlet, not only a tutor, but a way to untap anything, a land, a Gaia's Cradle, or a creature that you want to be attacking with. You get to threaten some crazy stuff with this card, even while it's in play. It does so much for you. I think that it's such a great card. I played a lot with this card when I was messing around with Standard. It enables for some cool toolbox strategies. It's just a great card.
And it's also political for Commander games because you can untap anything on the board.
Sure.
Anywhere you want. You're like, oh, you want to use that again? I mean, we can help each other out here.
That's right.
Look, go ahead and attack so-and-so. I'll make sure you still have a blocker.
Oh, would you like to block? We could block,
Do you have a swan song for this ad nauseum that's on the stack? Do you have what? Do you have a Swords to Plowshares for this lethal Blightsteel Colossus?
There you go. All right, let's move here to number 3. We're in our top 3 here. Ruben, what is your number 3?
Class is in session. This is the one that I was mentioning as my Emeritus, and I was also pointing out that Wizards knows how to pick them when they show us their first cards. They also know how to pick them when they pick their what was it called? The numbered cards, the serialized cards.
Yep.
Emeritus of Ideation is the perfect pick for what you want to see first from from Secrets of Strixhaven.
Yeah.
It's the perfect card that you want to have serialized in the Secrets of Strixhaven. It's the perfect card to, show you what's coming and how prepared works and what it means and all of that kind of stuff. Emeritus of Ideation is ideal. 3 generic blue gets you a 5/5 with flying and ward 2, and the creature enters prepared. And the spell that it casts is Ancestral Recall, which, for those of you playing along at home who don't know what Ancestral Recall does, boy, let me tell you, target player draws 3 cards. And whenever this creature, it also has another ability. Whenever this creature attacks, you may exile 8 cards from your graveyard. If you do, this creature becomes prepared. That's like a stealthy Treasure Cruise reference, which I really appreciated as well, because Treasure Cruise was an Ancestral Recall reference to begin with. Emeritus of Ideation is an extremely powerful creature in and of itself, even absent the prepared portion. The serialized cards of these sets are obviously worth thousands of dollars, but you yourself can open an Ancestral Recall in a booster pack, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is another card that you show early in the process, let people get excited. Like, what? That says the actual words Ancestral Recall? Like, hold on a second, right? And I think this is another card where we really haven't seen the best deck for this card yet, right? That's probably somewhere later this year as we get more stuff, or some deck cares about the number of cards you draw in a turn or something, right? It'll probably find its way into that. But overall, just a sweet, really useful card.
Yeah, I lived at a time where Kiga the Tide Star was like an incredible 6 mana, 6 mana dragon play that you would tap out for. So 5 mana, 5/5 flying ward 2 with an ancestral stapled on it, ready to go. Being able to rebuy an ancestral later is it's an unbelievable amount of value. The only reason I put Emeritus on here of Woe was because it's worth more. It's been played in more decks and so on. But I definitely agree with you, and I also agree with the fact this is the serialized card, and they let Mark Poole draw the serialized card, which was even better. Just like win on win on win for this thing. I love it. We can now get all of our reserve list cards as prepared spells.
Yeah.
Cool. You did it. I don't care how they did it, but they found a way. So life found a way. It only took us 30 something years, 33 years or something. But we got there. You did it.
It's brilliant.
Good job.
It's really, really excellent.
I'm waiting on dual land tokens now. Let's go make me my
they made pseudo dual lands in the upcoming set. So
cycling ones, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a guy that makes a Mutavault token, so making a scrubland token can't be too far off.
That is true.
That's what I'm saying. Let's go. All right. Power Dragon Watch number 3.
My number 3, surprisingly, is not surprisingly, I guess, but there is still higher on somebody's list.
Whoa.
Well.
Yeah.
That's a pretty dope number 3 then. All right. Cool. So we're in our top 3, and these are spells that are fairly straightforward in some ways, but these are my favorite designs so far of the year. And also not necessarily mechanics, that will be prepared, but just designs on cards. I think these were really brilliant and fun and interesting. And for my number 3 here, I picked Flow State. Flow State is blue and a generic mana for a uncommon sorcery from Secrets of Strixhaven. And for 2 mana, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. However, if there is an instant and sorcery card in your graveyard, instead put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So kind of straightforward, but it's about sort of, this constant push and pull for just trying to go a little bit further, a little bit more with your mana. How do you get that extra card for that one less mana and so on? How do you really show that you're in a flow state, right? That's another thing that was important to me, like design wise. How do you what makes you in a flow state? Well, it's the fact you got both of these types of spells going, so you're really feeling it. Like all of this really works to me from like sort of the way you're telling the story of what the card means, why this card gets that title, that type of stuff. I think is really important when you look at the really important cards of the year. And this represented that for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a type of card that's just going to find its way into a lot of different decks just because of the 2 costs. And usually after about turn 4 or 5, very often you're going to be able to get the extra card off of it. So I think it's going to be 2 for 2 of some variety pretty much always. So this is a pretty sweet card. Another one that I think we were kind of on the fence about, hey, we have so many 2 and 3 mana things that give us card quality, and looking at the top 2 or 3, or hell, top 5 and taking 2,
Right.
whatever. Like, is this really going to have room? And it turns out, yeah, there's definitely
Yeah.
room for this card.
I mean, this card is on every banned and restricted watch list that it can possibly be on because it's just so efficient at what it does. It's expressive iteration, right? It is
Mhm.
Right.
2 cards, 2 mana, so easy to do. It doesn't ask, it asks 1 blue mana pip of you. Sees play in every format. This one's an easy shoe in for a nominee for card of the year, even if it gets banned. Maybe especially because if it
Maybe
gets banned.
because, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that this one is you know, it's also ubiquitously named, so it can be reprinted easily if they want to. So
Right.
there's lots of reasons to love this card.
Yeah, it was pushed. It was pushed. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. All right, let's move on here to number 2. Power Dragon, you didn't get a number 3. So what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Professor Delian Fell.
Ooh.
2 black green for a planeswalker with 5 loyalty. You can +2 it to get 3 life. You can pay 0 to draw a card and lose a life. You can -3 to destroy a creature, and -6 get an emblem where when you gain life, your opponent loses that much life. I put this card on the list because it's kind of been the card we've started seeing slowly make its way into more and more lists. Some mid-rangey Golgari things, some Golgari and Abzan life gain variants. And it's a card that's always going to be playable if you're playing those colors, right? Because worst case scenario, it's a 4 mana destroy a creature. That if they don't deal with it, well, now you're just doing more stuff on future turns. So yeah, this is a card I don't think is ever going to be unplayable in any deck playing its colors as long as it's standard legal. This card is very cool, and it has a lot of loyalty, and it has 4 abilities.
Yeah.
Like, why? I have no idea for 4 mana, but it does.
Yeah, this card is a really interesting exercise in creative design, I think. After, 20 years of making planeswalkers, they said, can we do something simple? Can we do something groundbreaking in a way that isn't going to ruin the complexity of the game? This card has so few words on it. For a planeswalker that has 4 abilities, it is extremely powerful and potent, but only has limited number of words to do all of those things. Destroy target creature. You gain 3 life. But it's powerful because of the numbers coming in with 5 loyalty, immediately going up to 7 if you want it to, being able to effectively protect itself, not only with the -3, but also just having that high loyalty. It does everything you want a planeswalker to do, and it does it so in a simple way.
I didn't like how you said there's been 20 years of planeswalkers. So I went back and looked, and there's been 19 years of planeswalkers.
All right,
Yeah.
sorry.
19. No, it's not
I
the fact that
rounded
you were
up.
wrong or whatever. It's the fact there's been basically 2 decades
Yeah.
of planeswalkers, and that's a little mind blowing, honestly.
Mhm.
But yet here we are 19 years later, and we're going, he goes to 7 loyalty. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
still impressing all these
Not just
years
that,
later.
You use the emblem sometimes the turn after you play it.
Right, exactly.
That's the thing.
And survives if it didn't get
Exactly.
pipped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Last time we did that was like Garrick when I'm trying to overrun, right? When I
Mhm.
play it or whatever, right? Like, it's been a
Exactly.
while.
Yeah, and
been a
that
while.
emblem will kill you, by the way. It
For
will.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
It'll chip away at you until you die. I've definitely
Yep.
lost because of that. So yeah, a 1-turn ultimate basically goes to 7 loyalty to start with. Great top deck, fantastic. To flip and then just start drawing cards or whatever. Like, whew, card is
Yeah.
terrific. All right, let's go ahead and keep moving here to Ruben's number 2. What you got?
So my number 2 is a card that snuck up on me. I don't know if it snuck up on all of us. I'd have to go back and watch the Ninja Turtles top 10. But I was not expecting Super Shredder to be the breakout star of Legacy,
My number 10.
of older formats in the Ninja Turtles set. But here is Super Shredder.
Mhm.
A generic into black for a 1/1 legendary creature, mutant ninja human with menace. Whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Super Shredder. Extremely powerful ability. Obviously, it works with fetch lands. It works with removal spells. It works with days in Legacy.
Mhm.
There's a number of things that this thing is friends with, and also, much like Tarmogoyf or any of those other really good 2-drops, you just have to play Magic.
Well, not just that. It works with your permanents of your opponent's stuff
Yeah.
doing as well, right? Like that's the thing. So they decide they want to sack a fetch land. You're like, great, get a counter,
Goes
right?
to Shredder.
I want
Yeah.
to sacrifice this thing to draw a card. Great, I get a counter, right? Like, and I think that's what makes the card scary is that it's not asymmetrical. It just says, hey,
Right.
anything leaves the battlefield, I'm getting a bonus, and it has menace on top of it.
Right.
Just like just because,
So you can
I
just get
guess.
in there immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
for sure.
really cool card, man. Good pick to have on the list.
Yeah, this was my number 10. I just felt it's my favorite card in the whole set. I just felt like they just nailed it on all the different sides of being super exciting. It's great just because you play Magic. It reads awesome, even if you don't even know what's going on in the Magic card. You're like, oh, Shredder's menacing. That makes sense to me. Like, yeah, he's getting scarier. Okay, I understand that part. And the fact that an older format is making it that expensive, / people who love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is also making it expensive. And they got great alt arts that you can get, including some
Have you
crazy
seen-
Spotlight series thing.
I was gonna say, have you seen the Spotlight series art?
Dude, I got it on the screen right now. It's
crazy.
pretty dope.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I hadn't seen that previous to looking it up. That's
yeah.
awesome.
There's another full art version that's actually pretty cool too, where he looks like he's like slashing at the screen or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah, this card got the good treatment all the way around.
Yeah, as it should. Like, I think they figured out pretty fast. Like, they pushed it good. They pushed it hard. It's not breaking anything, but it's very exciting. Super exciting to read. I think that's great. All right, let's move on here to my number 2. Again, these are my favorite designs. Not necessarily the most exciting of cards, but I do think it's a fairly exciting card in terms of what it does. I really appreciate when they do those big moves and they kind of push things in a direction where you're like, oh, okay, you're finally getting this kind of back to us, because Lord knows we loved Path to Exile. But if we could just fix that a little bit and let us answer Planeswalkers too. And he said, okay, Erode, you got it. And we're just like, oh, Erode, we did it.
Yeah.
Erode, 1 mana. Can't make it any cheaper if it's not Phyrexian. 1 white mana, a rare instant, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. We know it's not Path to Exile. We understand that exiling is better than destroying, and there is a cost to destroying, but there's a versatility there. There's a usefulness there. Every white deck in Standard should probably be running a place out of this, because I don't know why you wouldn't, because them getting extra land versus you killing their cub or whatever immediately is kind of like what I'm okay with. Like, this card is great and I love it.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the few standards where printing this card is actually okay, right? Because there are some landfall decks and other things that do have somewhat of a drawback on top of your opponent just getting the land, which I think balances this out quite a bit. But that doesn't change the fact that the card's still just very good and very efficient, right? You're still going to see a lot of decks playing this, which you already do. Some of the Selesnya or mono green aggro decks became Selesnya decks to be able to play Erode, sometimes sideboarding some Get Lost, but generally for having Erode's main deck and no other white spells. Right? So tells you kind of how good this card is. And sometimes targeting your own thing to trigger your landfall stuff,
which is the thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that the fact that you changed a very good top tier monocolor deck to include just this card and shift kind of your whole mana base to do so speaks volumes. This card's just very good and hopefully will be reprinted a number of times in the future.
Yeah, I don't expect it, however, to be reprinted in Standard in the future. I do think this will have a Path of Exile type of feel or Path to Exile rather, where, you get it for a while and you feel this efficiency, you get to have this efficiency, and then it's going to leave us. And when Path to Exile left us, it's been what, 8-10 years or something since we got it last? Like in Standard? It's been a long time. Very, very long time.
Yeah, you get like special guest versions or whatever now.
Yeah, sure, but you're not going to get it back in Standard. So this is our closest thing we got. And, with landfall being an issue and with reanimation also being kind of an issue, like those are the drawbacks I think that are inherent to it. But being able to kill planeswalkers is also super important, in my opinion, to what it can do. And I think that's great. Let's move on here to our number 1 pick. Ruben, what's your number 1?
My number 1, excuse me, was very easy. I think that if you look at the cards and you look at the designs and you look at the texts and you just say, what is the most beautiful design? What is the most perfect thing that we could do with the Magic card that tells you what the set is about, that tells a story? Mathemagics is everything you want in a Magic card. Mathemagics is XX blue blue. It's a mythic sorcery from Secrets of Strixhaven, and it says target player draws 2 to the X cards. And then it gives you some nice reminder text on how powers of 2 work. What a perfect confluence of words, of math, of theory. It goes back to the school thing, the Quandrix math magic. It's named Mathemagics after, I mean, for gosh sakes. No explanation that I could give is as perfect as the card is.
I think it's a great design, and F that card. So, like, just like, definitely don't enjoy seeing this card, because nobody's ever just doing fun things with it. They're always doing it to try to like ramp up and have it be a finisher.
Oh,
But honestly though, from a design standpoint, it is a pretty sweet card, right? It's a fun way to use the language of English and math to design a Magic card that actually does something functional.
I'm so glad you have this on your list, because it was the number one card when Carrie was over here like doing the top 10 list or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't include Mathemagics. You know what I mean? So just like, yes, huge win, absolutely gigantic win. I love it. This is the card that could be card of the year. I could see it, but I could also see how again, just what's cool about Secrets of Strixhaven. Like, this is the type of card you show off. Is like, this is why these sets are cool, because they do this weird math stuff, and it's awesome. Math is great. And we like math as a game of math and so on. So yeah, this kind of celebrates all that and then some, and is just beautiful. Just a no notes, A++. All right, Power Dragon, what's your number one?
My number one, honestly, over the last 2 weeks, has risen to probably being the most important aggro card to come out this year. And it's Practiced Offense. 2 and a white, sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, or each creature target player controls, because you can target somebody else if you really want to. Target creature gains your choice of double strike or lifelink until end of turn, and it has a flashback that's cheaper, just 1 and a white. So sometimes you could do this twice in a turn. But what I think everybody's discovering is it's the other white card a lot of aggro decks are splashing for. Because if you have any type of evasion, whether it's flyers or tramplers or menace, like, giving something double strike is so big, right? And just pumping your team, especially if they already care about +1/+1 counters, is really good. It's a card that you can freely discard to stuff and know you can flash it back cheaper for just 2 mana. Like, very little to dislike about this card. And it's one that went largely under the radar in preview season. And then immediately when people started playing it, everybody went, oh, I get it now. Right. Like, and I've tried this in just the green white aggro decks. I've tried it in theme decks with like mice, with rabbits, whatever. And it is bonkers, because you have so many things that trample already. So you're just like, yeah, sure, double strike and trample. What you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's
like
just
nothing.
Yeah, just so efficient. 3 mana, my whole team gets bigger, and then the flashback is cheaper. You know what I mean? So like flashing back 2 of these and giving 2 things double strike or whatever, like, it's possible, and it gets pretty scary. But honestly, you don't need 2. You just need the 1 usually. The 1, or maybe the 1 in the flashback. But that'll do it.
I mean, you can also it's great in any deck that wants to utilize discarding. Those Mardu discard decks with like Hardened Academic, or you just put it in your Selesnya aggro deck and move stuff forward and pump things up, or you put it in a Repartee deck, you put it in your Silver Quill deck, and you take advantage of that keyword as well. It doesn't need any really additional support. The fact that it costs 3 and flashes back for 2, it has that Lingering Souls ability of like, yeah, we're waiting a little bit, but then we can combo 1/2 punch the turn afterwards is huge, or we can just play it twice on turn 5. This card, the only experience I have against this card is from Limited, and I've never beaten it. And I've also never lost with it. So, 100% win rate on a card in Limited usually translates over to some amount of constructed success.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. It's to the point now that because I played it so much the last couple of weeks, now I'm just like doing the math. I'm like, okay, if this thing gets double strike Like, how many creatures do I need to leave back to block? Like, that's seriously where we're at now. This card's crazy.
It's very popular these days, that's for sure. All right, let's turn here to my number one, which I believe through the process of elimination is Power Dragons number 3.
Yep.
This is a phenomenal Magic card for a variety of reasons. Much like I feel like Bitterbloom Bearer is, kind of the way that we're going to have big, huge cards going forward in many of those ways. When you're able to bring something from Magic that's been in Magic for a long time, and you're able to kind of drill it down to its to its essence. You know what I mean? Just like get it pure right here. It can't get cheaper. It can't get more straightforward. It can't get faster. It's like it's as pure as you're ever going to see a mechanic. It has the name of the mechanic as the name of the card, and that is Flashback. It's just I don't this is one of those like these are one of those journeys as a game design that you can only get through by having 33-ish years or whatever in it, of just like, we've done all this and we've done these iterations and we've seen all these different ways of looking at it. And then finally, like, we don't need a card called Kicker, and I don't expect us to get one, but some mechanics can really, really shine if you just make a card out of the mechanic itself. And Flashback is that card for 1 red mana. It's a rare instant that target instant or sorcery in your graveyard gains Flashback until end of turn. The Flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. And again, instant, it's right there. Unless it's Phyrexian Mana doing this, you'll never see this any cheaper or any more efficient. And man, it's just chef's kiss on top of really kind of just rewarding in a really like just instinctual way as a Magic player, of like, here is this thing that you kind of thought could be a card, maybe, or should be a card, but now it's a card and it makes so much sense. And I just absolutely love it.
Dude, I'll tell you what was surprising me is that they made it an instant.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, at sorcery, this still would have been fine.
They really would have.
Like, instant is just like, okay, I guess, boss, why not? Let's do it. Right? Like,
and
like,
why
left the door
not
open just go all out?
Right. For an instant version later, that would have been even more like exciting, right? So
but we just went all the way on the first iteration. Kind of crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? I mean, this card is extremely powerful. Again, they couldn't have made it cheaper. And it is poetic in the way that it's named and its simplicity of its ability. Sometimes simple is best, as we've said here, is you want to have the depth, but you don't need the complexity. And to have these clean, beautiful text boxes just speaks to how design has evolved and has grown and learned. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, I'm ready for like promo versions with no flavor text. Just give me that.
Flashback would be a perfect one to have that,
like Mystical Archive or whatever. The next time we come back, it better be in there. That's all.
I mean, I think that we should be getting. We have a few of these cards now that have a ability word or a keyword as a card name. I think that Persist and Flashback are the two that are probably the cleanest that we could get full art textless treatments of.
I agree. All right. So we are going to bring our top 10 on screen right now for you guys to review. That said, you will see our top 10 cards of 2026 so far. That's right. Take a look at my list, Power Dragons list, Ruben's top 10. And we want to hear from you about what card we did not talk about. And we'll select our favorite to highlight in our next top 10. But before we go, I would like to thank my 2 co-hosts. Thank you, Power Dragon.
Yeah, if anybody's going to be down in the LA area this weekend, come say hi. We'll be at the Cookout doing stuff at Geeky Teas all weekend. So if you want to cut away from your pre-release, come pre-release with us over there.
That'd be very exciting. Thank you, Ruben.
And if anybody is in Columbus, Ohio at the Origins Game Fair, I will be there doing panels and shows, and I'll see you there. Sorry I'm missing you in LA, Power Dragon.
It's all right. It's all right. There'll be another time.
We'll catch you some other time.
Absolutely. Let's move on here to our final slide. I want to thank our primary sponsor, Manapool.com. Our co-sponsor, ManaTraders.com, my co-host, Power Dragon, and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching or listening. Hope you support us at patreon.com/magicmics. Follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online at twitch.tv at Magic Mics, on Blue Sky at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and like the Magic Mics page on Facebook, or join us here next week. Join us here next top 10. Same time, same place. Another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.